Locally owned and operated for over 50 years, Delaware Camera is your #1 spot for all your camera needs, education, accessories, printing, and more. Located at 2635 Delaware Avenue in Buffalo. Visit cameraspot.com.
Hey, True Believers. Welcome to True Believers Tech Talk Tuesdays with me. Why is Dean here? You're staying here, Dean, because you're going to come on a while to talk about, about rentals. And I think we're going to try to do rentals with a certain service called ShareGrid, and how that's going to give better results for people who are looking to do a more pro-type shooting and such. So we're looking forward to that. Oh, yeah, there's nothing over there, right? That's broken. All right. Anyway, so housekeeping. We have this Friday, if you don't know about it, we have a wildlife photography class that is being presented by Tamron. Tamron sending our regular rep, Andrew, and our tech rep who teaches, that's Jeff. He'll be teaching the class on Friday at 6. It's in store, right upstairs here in our classroom area. And before that, we're going to have a Tamron demo day. So Tamron will be here from 12 to 6-ish. No phones on the set. They'll have all the latest and greatest. I'm sure Andrew will have some new product up his sleeve that he's going to tell everyone about. So he'll be in the store from 12 to 6 on Friday, and then after that, we're going to have the wildlife class. The class is pretty much free, but we are asking for donations for Ride for Roswell. If you can do that, we would appreciate a donation for Ride for Roswell. You have to get tickets and reserve a space because the space is limited up here in our classroom area. So go to our website. There's a class button on there. You go to our social media as well. In our Instagram, there is a link in bio for getting tickets for the class. In addition to that, on Saturday we have an event that we are tabling at a Hawk Creek. We're gonna table there. There's a Wild Photo Day, I think it's called. Or it is called. What am I saying? I know what it's called. So Wild Photo Day, where you can go take pictures of all the birds and creatures they have there. And we're going to have Tamron's going to have lenses there that you can use, like all of the lenses. Andrew told me to bring all the lenses with him. So if you want the long lenses, the macro lenses, the all-in-one lenses, he'll bring everything. So if you want to go try out lenses, it's free to try out those lenses. Just come to the Wild Photo Day. I think it's $60 for the Wild Photo Day. So go to Hawk Creek's website, and you can buy tickets there for that. Other things, Saturday we have an online composition class. We have our classes normally through the f-stops here, and we will have our normal classes will be returning online and such. So if you want to take a composition class, that is happening Saturday. I think we have a travel class Wednesday, Producer Will? That's Wednesday? Yes. Travel on Wednesday, I believe, but it's all on the website. If you go to our website or our social media Instagram, you can click on the link in the bio there, and it'll direct you towards where you need to go. Joe saying hi.
Matching plan.
Anyway, so we got the wildlife class Friday. We have a Wild Photo Day on Saturday, composition class on Saturday, and travel next Wednesday. We just had a class this past Sunday. It was a portrait class that Vicente ran, which went really well. Vicente was on the show a couple weeks ago, and he talked about that class and portraiture and stuff. We actually had Nicole, who the benefit was for. She was on the show last week. So if you want to check those out, they are on our YouTube page, our Instagram page, all that good stuff. So we're going to take a quick break and then come back and talk about ShareGrid and rentals in general, because we've been renting stuff for a good long while. So we'll tell you why ShareGrid is going to up our game a little bit and what we have to offer as far as regular rentals in store. So we'll be back in a few moments, and we'll see you then. Welcome back to the show. That's as emotional as I get. Anyway, I got Dean here, who is he's our video aficionado. Most things video, he knows about them. I always refer people to him because he is the video guru inside of our store right now. So, as you may know, we do rentals. So we rent stuff from Fuji, Sony, Nikon. Anything else we rent? We rent lights from ProMaster. We rent some Godox lights as well, some strobes as well. So we rent a bunch of different things. If you want to rent stuff through us, go to our website. There's a button there for rental. It's got 2 people in the picture. You click on there, and then it'll take you to another portal where you can rent stuff. So you can reserve it right in line, pay for it right in line, or you can give us a call if you want, and we will facilitate the rental there as well. So now we're trying this thing with ShareGrid. Dean, tell us what ShareGrid is.
So ShareGrid is a platform that I kind of stumbled upon a couple years ago. That was referred to me by a few people in the video production industry. Pretty much it's a very multi-use platform, and its biggest, platform and means of traffic is through rentals and through all kinds of rentals, whether it's a simple camera, stills photo or stills video hybrid camera, all the way up to full-blown production rigs, rental vans, rental spaces. Some people even put themselves and their gear up for hire as operators for their gear. As camera operators for their day, people use it as a platform for that. People post jobs on ShareGrid. People sell their items on ShareGrid. You can pick up items locally. You can sell things, ship things. You can sell things locally, so you don't have to ship. It is a really useful platform that, of course, is going to be very popular in New York City and LA and stuff like that. But now that the video industry is more and more, becoming prevalent in Buffalo, ShareGrid is definitely going to be a tool where people from outside of Buffalo are actually going to be able to see what kind of gear is available for their productions in Buffalo ahead of time. Or, for example, like part of my experience with ShareGrid is not only what gear is available, what people are for hire, because I've gotten reached out to before for jobs on ShareGrid. It's just that versatile of a platform. So ShareGrid.
So if people are coming in from out of town, they can kind of look here and see what they need to get rather than like renting something and having to bring it with them. They can just get everything right here in Buffalo.
Because the costs of travel with camera gear is exceptionally high with the weights. And then, of course, batteries are a huge restriction. You can't carry, you can't have certain size batteries in your carry-on and your checked and stuff like that. So having, production level accessories like batteries and stuff like that, is a real hassle to travel with, especially ahead of time. So that's why people check ahead of time.
So you've used ShareGrid yourself?
Yeah, I have bought gear on ShareGrid. I have rented gear locally on ShareGrid, picked it up locally, used it for 2 days, brought it back, no problem, and everything. And it's a very professional platform that does a very good job at maintaining verification amongst users. Pretty much anyone who's selling, buying, or even just having an account, if you want to have any kind of interaction with people, besides just viewing what's on the website for like rent or sale, if you want to actually be able to do anything besides just view things, like you have to go through the full-fledged verification process. You have, social security, ID, tax information, stuff like that. The payment securities they have are really good as well.
So it's fairly safe then for people, so you can have peace of mind when using it. So, okay, so here might be a controversial question. So why would someone rent on ShareGrid and not through us? What's the rationale with that?
With ShareGrid, ShareGrid's going to be, you can check on the platform. It's a platform that's, you pretty much people all over the world can use it. So you can, search by area for ShareGrid. So at a marketing standpoint, and just in terms of, online presence, ShareGrid is going to come up and give you access to what cameras are in Buffalo well before,
our stuff is online.
But, there's a good chance that ShareGrid just has more likely is going to come up in the search bar for someone in LA than Delaware camera.
Where I was going though, doesn't ShareGrid give you like we have these kits that we're gonna rent on ShareGrid?
Yeah.
More professional like rig, I guess, on ShareGrid is what why you would use that. Whereas we like rent pieces, like we rent a camera.
Because going back to like the security thing and why it's so easy to rent out full production rigs and stuff like that is it's very easy to label all of your accessories on ShareGrid and get covered in terms of the actual replacement value of specific items and everything like that.
So what are we trying to rent on ShareGrid?
Let's give an example of something we're going to put on ShareGrid. This is kind of an example of something that we would rent out probably pretty often on ShareGrid. This is something you see in LA and New York City a lot of the times. For example, this is our R5C kit that is pretty much built and complete. It's just right now we're kind of just figuring out the last few details before we get started with this guy. But in terms of the base of your camera, you have here a R5C, a cinema equivalent of the R5 from Canon. So 8K30 actual heat vents to control overheating and everything like that. And then here we have from Small Rig a good number of accessories, as you can see. First we have the base, the cage, just the Black Mamba series. That has multiple anchor points onto the camera besides the bottom's quarter-inch screw. It has anchor points here on the left side and over here on the right side on the base here. So this is pretty much part of the camera now. It's not going to budge or inch or any way. It's pretty much locked in there. And then for pretty much adding the rest of the accessories, the three things we've added onto this cage are pretty popular tools used in the video production industry called NATO rails. And I have one right here, one right there. And so what this allows you to do is instead of having to pretty much screw everything in, you can pretty much easily slide and lock things into position and have it like that, and then just as easily take them off as well. And then as you can see, that slides in there. And so that pretty much, in terms of handling and everything, it's more often than not in the video realm. Not only are you doing stuff on tripods, but a lot of times you see people doing events, whether it's a concert or any kind of wedding or anything like that. A lot of times people just have to run and gun. And so being able to provide people the handling options to actually use the camera in different situations, whether, having, both arms support the weight of it, and then of course having a handle for those low angle shots and everything, being able to hold it up, that is part of a good camera rig. So that's why we do something like that. And then in terms of that base plate, not only does that give you kinds of screw mounts to attach your own your own tripod's base plate to, so this can go on any tripod that obviously can support its weight. But this comes with 15mm rod slots for these guys, and these are pretty much another kind of standardized sized system that are pretty useful for accessorizing tools and adding tools onto your camera, especially around the lens. So I have these guys around the same length, pull the screen out here, and then what this allows us to do is either one, add accessories to underneath the lens if we were to have that there. Like for example, a lot of people use older lenses or prefer to manually focus their lenses because they want a very specific focus transition and something like that. Typically, people who want that 100% control, you're going to be able to, add accessories there. And then, of course, you're able to, for example, add accessories into the back, like this battery plate, for example, that takes V-mount. This tucks right behind the camera. It can be locked on
there perfectly.
Exactly. Fits on there, and it's not going to shake, not going to get loose or anything like that. And then all of these accessories, by the way, are from Small Rig. They do have a pretty concise ecosystem. And then once again, we have the Small Rig 99 batteries. These guys are going to provide, I believe Small Rig has these rated up for, I think it was somewhere over 6.5 hours of power for specifically the R5C when using PD power. And that's for this
How much
size.
would you say the OG battery has if you plug it in?
If you're if you're
like LPE6.
if you're pressing the record button, maybe 20 minutes.
Wow.
If you're not pressing record, then maybe a little over 30 minutes. The R5C is just a camera that pretty much they kept it in the compact system, but gave it a power. They gave it a processor that has too much of a power draw for the body it's in. So pretty much this camera really can't function for long days based on the battery it comes with. So that's why, you know, people want, especially in video production, to use an external battery like this, because the R5C actually has a PD rated port. Same thing, PD stands for power delivery, which is pretty much just standardized levels of power that batteries can draw. So the small rig battery, for example, not only has a USB-A, USB-C port, but 2 different levels of DC ports. So not only is this guy capable of, and of course the big thing, DTAP power, which is between the DTAP and the DC power, those are going to be options for you to power monitors, wireless transmitters for video, stuff like that, and then just extra power options for any kind of other accessories.
That battery will power not just the camera, but other accessories.
Exactly.
That you have on there.
Yeah. So this, for the camera alone, is going to provide, you know, well over 5 hours of power, and then of course, you know, having an external monitor to, you know, have a better, you know, bigger screen to look at what's your camera images, you know, that's going to be able to provide those kind of power draws as well. And then of course, you know, you want to actually be able to monitor your power. And a nice thing about the small rig batteries is they actually tell you like the specific power draw from each port, which is actually pretty cool. So you can see like how much more your monitor's drawing than your camera, for example.
What if you have high anxiety though?
In terms of what?
I'll be watching this like 96, 95, 87.
Exactly. I mean, it'll definitely be a lot slower than that, for example. But in terms of actually being able to build this out, so we would have all of this available.
So we're doing the adapter as well?
Yeah, I would say we want to give people as many options as possible. So I would say whether you have your own RF lenses or you have EF lenses, you know, this camera is going to perform phenomenally with the autofocus on those. Or, you know, just be able to have a crazy sharp image and, you know, shooting at 8K that allows for a lot of manual focus lenses, a lot of older lenses that have that softness. So this is kind of a very compact, you know, introduction to a cinema rig that people, I think, in Buffalo definitely should be able to have access to, and, you know, be able to learn to handle themselves, so that going forward, if they ever, you know, gets around to owning their own gear, they can actually, you know, they know what they need and how to take care of their stuff.
So we're gonna have this and the A7S III, correct?
As of right now, correct.
So it's gonna be the same rig for both of them, basically, like the cage.
Exactly. So the base plate, every single accessory, including the battery mount, the handles, top and bottom, are all going to be the same. And then in terms of also breaking down the camera, he just did it in like 50 seconds or whatever. So that is the nice part about having all this, this one ecosystem and everything like that. So.
Yeah, so I mean, ShareGrid you would say is more like video-centric, right, rather than like photo-centric?
I would say so, and just in terms of what is actually on there, because you will see anything from cameras like this to, you know, someone selling their old Sony Handycam on there to someone actually, you know, renting out like an Aria Mira on there and stuff like that.
What is an Aria Mira?
A very, very, very expensive cinema camera.
How much we talking here, Dean?
We're talking like 50, about like
say $58,000.
Like 10 of those, like at least 10 or 12 of these.
All right.
And then more.
So very cool. So this is a cool option we're going to have for people once we cross the T's and dot the I's on this stuff. We'll have these rigs available. But we still have stuff for rent on our regular Delaware camera rental website. You know, the Canon, Nikon, Sony, Fuji. But these are coming soon for all you video aficionados, people making music videos, people doing all that good stuff. So thank you for introducing us to this, Dean.
Absolutely.
Because, you know, I know it's been a process. We don't always work the fast, but I appreciate you introducing this, and hopefully people get good use out of what we're trying to do here. So
awesome.
I think that is all for today. We will see you on the next one. enjoy the day. Peace.
Locally owned and operated for over 50 years, Delaware Camera is your #1 spot for all your camera needs: education, accessories, printing, and more. Located at 2635 Delaware Avenue in Buffalo. Visit cameraspot.com